I am Colette Broomhead, and I'm a startup strategist. I help people who want to quit their 9 to 5 for good and create an online business doing what they love. And the reason I do that is because that's exactly what I did. I've never looked back. I love doing what I'm doing now, and I want to help as many people as possible to get there too. So today I wanted to talk to you about how to find more time for your business, because I remember all too well what it was like when you are working a 9 to 5, but you've got this dream of starting and growing an online business and kind of creating a new life for yourself. But when it comes down to it, the practicalities are that you just can't find the time. You've got a job, you've got a family, you've got a house to run, or whatever it may be. And at the end of the day, finding time to actually run a business ends up being very difficult. So that's what I'm going to talk to you about this evening. Hello to whoever's there live. Lovely to see someone live. Wendy, thank you so much. It's always so nice to see you live. You are so good to come and watch live. Cheers. Wednesday evening, and here I am with a glass of red. We've had we're having kind of a fake fake weekend night tonight. We were meant to be having a Sunday roast at the weekend, and it never happened. Nick cooks a mean roast beef for my husband, and he cooked it tonight instead. And so we've just finished a nice Sunday roast beef, Yorkshire puddings, the full works, and I treated myself to a glass of red with it, and I may have another one afterwards. So as I said, yes, this evening I'm going to talk to you about how you can overcome that problem of just never feeling like you've got enough time, or feeling like you've got to kind of work into the small hours of the night in order to fit everything in, which in the long run is no good for you either. You're just going to be exhausted. You're not going to be at your most productive. You're not going to be at your most creative. Mistakes might happen. You're not going to be able to fulfill your role in your 9 to 5 properly. It's not good. It's not good. I am not a fan of the hustle. I am definitely a fan of looking after yourself and balance and creating balance in your life. And it is possible. It's absolutely possible. So tonight I'm going to take you through 5 little tips to help you find more time in your day for your business. Now, none of these are groundbreaking. None of these are probably things that you haven't heard before, but they're all things that I think we can all do with reminders for, because they're things we probably know we ought to be doing, but which we often don't. So with that said, let's make a start. So the first point on my list, and I'm glancing over here because I have my list here so that I don't forget anything, is to set clear goals. So like I said, nothing massively groundbreaking, but absolutely necessary if you're going to be productive with the time that you do have. So let's say, for example, you only have an hour a day to focus on your business. You need to make sure that that hour is as productive as possible. You don't want to waste a second of it. And if you don't have goals, if you don't know what it is you're trying to achieve with that hour, then you're going to spend most of the hour sitting there thinking, oh, what shall I do? Maybe I'll do a bit of this, maybe I'll do a bit of that. And basically you're going to waste a whole lot of time. And even then it could be that what you end up spending your time on might be completely fruitless and pointless and not actually beneficial to your business anyway. So set goals. And I don't just mean those annual goals that we all kind of love to do. Perhaps it's like, you know, New Year's resolutions and all that kind of stuff, or even your annual business goals, where you perhaps set yourself a revenue target, or you set yourself a sales target, and certain things that you want to achieve over the year. Break those down. Make sure that, you know, you don't just have an annual target, but you have a quarterly target. And then you don't just have a quarterly target, you have a monthly target. And you don't just have monthly targets and goals, you have weekly targets and goals. And by doing that and breaking it down and breaking it down and breaking it down, you are basically breaking down those kind of quite sort of sometimes it seems sort of unachievable, far off goals, and you're making them much more real, you're making them much more doable, and you're breaking them down into bite-sized chunks that feel manageable, and in fact are manageable. And also knowing what your goal is for a week means that you can much more easily plan out the days of the week and what it is you're going to spend your precious time doing. Which brings me to my second tip, which is to plan your time. So if you've set goals and you know what it is you want to achieve, the next thing you need to do is actually create a plan to do that. What do I need? If I want to do this by the end of the week, what tasks will that involve me doing? And break it down again. It's all about breaking down and making everything into its kind of almost smallest components, so that when you sit down, you have a to-do list, which essentially will equate to your big project broken down into small bite-sized pieces that you can then work through one at a time. So create that plan, understand the different tasks that you need to do in order to achieve your goal for the week, and then plan out your day, plan out your week, so that all of those tasks are accounted for. Be realistic, be clear on the time that you have available to you. If it's just an hour, don't try and cram in 6 hours of work. Think, okay, right, I have an hour a day, this is what I can realistically achieve, and then plan in your time accordingly, so that you're giving yourself a manageable tasks to achieve. You're sitting down for that 1 hour and you know exactly what you need to do with it, and you know exactly why, what goal it's leading you towards, and you basically have focused, and everything that you're doing is aligned towards your weekly goals, towards your monthly goals, towards your quarterly goals, and towards your annual goals. Everything is focused, everything is pointing you in the right direction. You will feel more motivated, you will be more productive, and yeah, do it. So my third point is to create a productive environment. And I've talked about this before, but basically what that means is distraction free, and often that equates to clutter free. And I think there are 3 types of clutter that can distract us from our work and that can make us less productive. The first is the physical clutter around us. So by that, I'm talking about, our houses, our cars, and basically where we spend our time. If that is full of clutter, and, you're constantly kind of, you can't find anything, or you're just, surrounded by this kind of mess and noise, that is going to impact your concentration. It's going to impact your productivity, and it's going to impact your kind of mental state for many reasons. It might be because you're constantly looking at it thinking, oh, I must get around to tidying up one of these days. Or it might be more of a subconscious thing, just having that kind of noise around you, for want of a better word. So physical clutter, make sure that wherever you choose to work is as free of physical clutter as possible. Now, I speak to you as someone who currently works from their dining table, in a room that's pretty full of clutter, if I'm honest. So do as I say, not as I do. My dream is to have a beautiful, kind of simplistic, clean white office, and hopefully that will happen. We're currently very slowly transforming what was our nursery for my now nearly 4-year-old. So when I say very slowly, I mean very slowly, into an office, and hopefully at some point this year we'll get there. But in the meantime, I work from my dining table. But at the very least, what I try to do is clear the dining table. I'm looking out of the window, so I have most of the clutter behind me, and I try and just clear the table around me. So do what you can with the space that you have. I'm not saying that you have to suddenly go and create this kind of minimalist paradise for yourself in your home. Just do what you have with the space that you have, to make it as clutter-free and as distraction-free as possible. So that's physical clutter. The second type of clutter that you have to deal with is digital clutter. And so by that, I mean all the stuff that's going on your computer, on your laptop, on your tablet, or wherever it is you work from. It could be that your desktop is covered with random files and bits and bobs that you've saved over the years and never got around to, either deleting or filing or doing whatever with, and it's just all sitting there in some horrible chaotic mess. It could be your inbox. Let's face it, who doesn't have an inbox that's in constant need of clearing and organising? I know I do. So, is your inbox full of emails that you've never read, that you're never likely to read, from people that perhaps you should have unsubscribed to ages ago? Declutter, get that, make life as easy and simple as you can for yourself, so that when you're trying to do stuff online on your laptop, everything's there, where everything is. You're not wading through tons of just random emails, random files, whatever it may be. Clear it out, make it easy for yourself. Even if that takes a day to do, even if it takes longer, it will save you so much more time and so much more kind of mental frustration in the long run. So we've got physical clutter, we've got digital clutter, and then the third type of clutter that will distract you is your mental clutter. And that's perhaps the worst of all. So your mental clutter is all the stuff that's whirring around in your noggin, and that is going to distract you from your work. So when you're sitting down for your 1 hour a day that you've got to put towards your business, if your mind is still whirring from perhaps what went on at work today, or a conversation you had with a friend today, or an argument you had with your partner today, or that time when you shouted at your child, or how worried you are about money, or whatever it may be, there are so many potential things that are going to be whirring about in your mind. It could be even stuff related to your business itself. Am I really doing the right thing? Is this, can I really do this? Well, your mind is full constantly of all these voices going on and saying different things to you. And that can be a huge distraction, and it can really impact your productivity. So find ways to quieten those voices, find ways to declutter all that stuff going on in your mind. What those things are will be different for everyone. So spending 5 or 10 minutes meditating before you start working could really work for you. It could be that exercise could be a really great way of clearing your mind. Going out for a run, going to the gym, and kind of, exercising it out before you sit down and work. That might be another great way. I mean, if it is something like an argument that's going on in your brain, then obviously resolving those issues and actually going and resolving with whoever it is you've had the argument with, and kind of any of those kind of negative things can be resolved. Go and resolve them, so that whatever it is for you that's causing that clutter, that's causing that noise going on in your mind, do what you can it could be just writing it all down, keeping a diary and just jotting everything down before you sort of basically downloading it from your brain and onto a notepad, or even onto a digital document or something, getting it out of your head so that your head is then clear and focused and ready to work. So declutter the physical, the digital, and the mental, and that will put you in a much more productive frame of mind. So that was number 3, and number 4 is to ask for help. So it's not weakness to ask for help. I think it's, especially for some reason in kind of entrepreneurs, there's this tendency to feel like you have to do everything yourself, and to ask for help is to kind of admit defeat, admit that you can't do it, admit that you're somehow weak or a failure or something like that. And it just isn't true. The best leaders are the people who recognize where they need help and go and find that help, because we all have areas where we struggle. When none of us are superheroes, none of us are perfect. We all have areas where we struggle. If you're struggling, ask for help. And again, that could look very different depending on who you are and what it is you're struggling with. So it could be a case of you just need to ask for help to find more time. So perhaps asking someone to watch your kids for an hour or so, a couple of times a week. It could be getting someone in to clean your house, to free up a couple of hours a week. It could be that actually when you sit down to work for your hour, you spend most of it because you're struggling with something technical that you don't understand. And, you know, you spend a whole week trying to work it out, where in fact, if you just asked someone who, you know, could help you, you could have perhaps resolved it in 10 minutes. So whatever that is, you know, if there's something that's holding you back, if there's something that you could get help with, don't be afraid to ask. People love helping people. You know yourself, if someone asks you for help, generally speaking, you're only too happy to be of service to someone. People like to be able to feel useful. So think about your own situation, your own life, and any areas where you are perhaps struggling, where you could get help, where you know there's someone in particular who could help you, and ask for it. Get the support that you need. There is absolutely nothing wrong with it. In fact, it's a sign of someone who is really committed to their business and has, you know, a sensible head on their shoulders. So point number 4, get some help. And my final point is momentum. There is something just magical about momentum. And if you're in any kind of business groups and entrepreneurial groups online, you'll probably see that topic coming up, the kind of the big mo, and it's called all sorts of kind of stuff like that. And there's a reason for it. Is entrepreneurs, I think people in general, thrive on momentum. We like to see progress. We like to see the fruits of our labor. We like to see that we are moving towards those goals, and we're moving towards that dream that we've created for ourselves. And the only way that you can create momentum for yourself is by continuous action. So this point is basically about that. It's about taking continuous, consistent action. Now, this is all about finding time, and it's, you know, it's specifically aimed at people who are struggling to find time and who are juggling their job, juggling their family life, juggling their hobbies and their personal life, and trying to start and grow a business. And that is not easy. And so you could be sort of sitting there thinking, how am I supposed to take consistent action? Most days I just don't have time for anything. So what I'm saying to you is make a commitment to yourself to do one thing at least for your business every single day. Now, it could be that on some days you're able to do something, you know, quite big, perhaps, you know, write a blog post or create a video, or you know, start to develop a new product or service, whatever it may be. It could be that on other days it's something small. Perhaps you just don't have time at all to sit down and do anything. Commit to do something, even if it's just a Facebook post on your page, or a quick email to your email list, even if it's just jotting down 5 blog post ideas. You know, if you've got 10 minutes, and everyone can take 10 minutes out of their 24 hours for their business. I defy anyone to say that they can't. You can do something. There is something that you can do towards your business every single day. So I challenge you to do just that, and make a note of it, and then you can see that momentum, and you can look back on the progress, on what you've actually been achieving, and you can focus on the positive, focus on your progress, rather than focusing and stressing on what you don't have time to do. Focus on what you have had time to do and see where that's taking you. So, final recap. Point number 1 is to set goals. Set annual goals, quarterly goals, monthly goals, and weekly goals, even set daily goals. And then point 2 is to create a plan around those goals, so that in that limited time that you do have for your business, you know exactly what you need to be focusing on, so you don't have to waste a second. Point 3 is to declutter. So we talked about decluttering the physical, the digital, and the mental, to really create a productive environment for yourself when you do sit down to work. Point 4 was to ask for help, to understand and recognize the areas where you do need help, the areas, you know, whether it be development areas in your business or just areas outside your business where you need a bit of support, and get the help you need, because that in turn is going to give you more focus for your business. And then the final point was all about momentum, and I have challenged you to do one thing toward your business every single day, and to make a note of it. If you're up for that challenge, let me know in the comments. Give me a big yes. I will be checking back in with you in a few weeks to see who has kept up with it. So do let me know, and then I know who to keep accountable. Okay, so that's it from me. I hope you found this helpful. I will see you again next week. And if you're in my Facebook group business class, I will see you tomorrow for our G&T Q&A. Apparently, I'm just permanently drinking. Have a wonderful evening or wonderful day, depending on where you are. If you're watching the replay, hello, say hi, and I shall see you again soon. Mwah. Bye.